Hi guys, welcome to Grady's Club Buzz, where we talk about the buzz with all the clubs in Florida. We're here with Ashlyn Angel today, and we're here to talk about some of the things that she's been through in her nightlife scene through Vegas, Miami, and some of the things she's been through with me just being out in the promotion scene. Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and tell the people about you and some of the things you have going on today.
Well, today, this is my first ever podcast.
First ever podcast?
Yeah.
Cheers to you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. Well,
favorite.
thank you for being here. I just want to let you know that. And just tell me some of the things that like you've been through, and tell me some of your background, and tell me about Vegas and some of the nightlife out there.
Well, I grew up in Utah, but then I moved to Vegas. And so far, I've only lived there for about 4 months.
And how's Vegas been for you?
It's been really good, especially the party scene, the nightlife and all of that, like you were explaining. It's something you've never seen before, huge clubs, because they're all in casinos and hotels, so they're gonna be super huge and nice. And there's an outside part and an inside part, and there's famous artists that come every weekend. I've seen Zed, I've seen John Summit, I've seen Dom Dolla. I think the other week was Metro Boomin or something, but yeah, Vegas is the spot to be for sure.
That's awesome. And tell me, what's your favorite club in Vegas?
I don't know. I like all of them, but I would say either Omnia or Dre's, because Omnia has the cool hanging chandeliers that go up and down, which is really fun. But then Dre's is super big and has the outside and the inside, and there's super cool artists that come there all the time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And tell me, what are some of the things that you've been doing in Vegas? You said you've seen Dom Dolla, you've seen Fisher, you've seen some of the biggest names out there. Tell me what comes along with some of those names and some of the things you do out in Vegas?
Well, first of all, to even get there for free as a girl, you have to have connections.
Promoters,
and,
quote unquote.
You have to have your connections, and as soon as you get your connections right, you can get that band to be backstage, so you're closer to the artist. So honestly, my advice would be to put yourself out there, and even if you have no friends, still go out, put yourself out there, make new friends at the club, because that's what I did, and so far it's been really good. So
sounds like you've had an experience in Vegas.
Yeah.
Coming from some of the biggest clubs, seeing some of the biggest artists, and being a pretty big social media content creator, influencer. I don't even know what to call you. But tell us about some of the things you have coming up. Tell us some of the things about you. Tell us some of the things about your social media and what you do.
Okay, so my social media right now has around 18K.
And which social media platform?
Instagram.
Okay.
And then on Twitter I have 64K.
Shout out.
Shout out me. But it's mostly based around obviously OnlyFans and obviously that type of content, and that's what I'm doing right now. I've been doing it for 3 years. I've enjoyed it. Been doing multiple collabs with people who have millions of followers, which has been really fun. And yeah, and I started it all just from going TikTok Live.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And so you starting from TikTok Live kind of evolved you into the industry and some of the things that you've been doing, correct?
Yeah, so 3 years ago, I used to live in my car, fun fact. And I would go TikTok Live in my car, I would make TikToks in my car, and on my old TikTok page, I was doing really well, and I got up to 94K or something like that, because people were like, oh, that's the car girl, she's living in her car, that's super cool. And people were helping me get out of my car while I was going TikTok Live, and then I saved up enough money from OnlyFans to get out of that situation, to move to Arizona, which I lived there for about 2 years, but that I would say that was one of my biggest accomplishments, doing that for myself. So.
And kudos to you.
Yeah.
And it's an accomplishment. It sounds like you've been evolving, and not only did you evolve, but you actually became in the adult film industry, correct?
Yeah, more into that. I would say this year I was more in adult film, the pornish industry, and all that. And if you do want to hear a story about that, I have tons of crazy stories. But I only did it for like 4 months, and it was a good experience, something new, but something that I just no longer wanted to do, but it did get me somewhere, so.
Talk about your transition out of that and kind of some of the things moving forward and what you want to do.
So my transition out of that started with drama, because there's some drama that stirred up, and I made a video. And I said, you know what, this is not for me anymore because of X, Y, and Z and this drama happening, and I want to do what's best for me and just continue on my OnlyFans and my social media. So I made a whole video on TikTok and Twitter and told everyone that I was quitting, and everyone was so like supportive of me, and like all my comments were like, I'm so proud of you, like so supportive. And then yeah, I continued to do like the OnlyFans, and it's been going really well so far, and yeah.
Well, shout out to you and what you do. Sounds like you're an entrepreneur. Sounds like you're making your not only brand for yourself, but your name and just kind of some of the things that you're evolving for yourself in the social media realm, in the adult industry, and just kind of like some of the things evolving for you and like what you want to do, just kind of personally, you know.
Yeah.
And I hope the best for you in your career. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
And just kind of talk about, like, how is Miami? You're out here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Talk about some of the things you're doing right now.
Shout out to MMM if you're seeing this.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
If you know, you know.
You know. But Fort Lauderdale, right? So I've actually been out here quite a few times. My agent was based out here, and so I would visit out here a lot for shoots, and that's actually how I met him, was through a house party. And
On Cinco de Mayo.
yeah, so you know my
Actually, at my house. Yeah, so it was kind of crazy how things worked out.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. And that night I was like, I still wanted to go out, so I put myself out there like without knowing anybody, because my friends were like, oh, we're going home, whatever. My agent was going home. I was like, no, I still want to go out. And that's how I met him. He's like, yeah, we could like go to Dare. I was like, what's Dare? He was like, oh, I'll show you. So I was like, okay, bet. And so we went to Dare that night, and it was a good time, good vibe. I was like, whoa, something I've never seen in my life, because it was my first time, obviously. And yeah, it was like, you know how to set the vibe, you know how to set the room, like, you know what you're doing, so.
Well, I appreciate you. And, like, talk about your experience. Like, how do you like me as a promoter and how I'm able to kind of give you the experience that you want, not only at Dare, but over at Gecko Miami, over at Live Miami, and some of the other clubs that we've been to. I've really been able to host you, and you've kind of been able to see the nightlife from Miami as opposed to Vegas. So I'm kind of curious on what you want to, say.
I would say he's one of the promoters that will take care of you. He's not weird, okay?
Oh.
He won't try and like get in your pants or whatever. Like, he's really chill. And like, he is super respectful towards everybody and will make everybody feel safe. And we'll try and make everybody happy, get their drinks, everything like that. And he's quick, too. He's not like a slow, like, he is quick with everything. So he'll get you your drinks, he'll get you your shots, he'll get you your champagne, like, everything. He'll take care of you. VIP. He's also like a more up there kind of promoter, if that makes sense. So, like, VIP. He's trying to be a director. So, like, he's getting up there, you know? Like, but I'm just saying, I would say go with him if you're coming to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, because he'll hook you up with, like, the best tables, the best spots, like, and he'll treat you to a good time, so yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you saying that. Like, it means not, like, a lot coming from you.
Yeah.
And tell me, how do you feel, like, at my sections, and how do you feel when you go out with me? And I know you said it feels good, but what was your feeling when you walked through Dare nightclub with me, or when you walked through Gecko with me, and when you sat down, you got those drinks, and you were like, listen, like, I'm actually where I want to be with this VIP experience?
Oh, yeah, no, it was, like, perfect. Like, you just go in, walks you in, and then sits you right down.
So I check you in and just walk you to the table?
Yeah, and he also gets pictures with you, he takes care of you, he makes sure you're having a good time the whole time, no matter how drunk you are. He's like, oh, you having a good time? Yeah, we are. You know? So
I gotta check up.
Yeah. Even when, okay, story time. I was like, I needed a vape, right? So I went to go get a vape in the bathroom, and he's like, are you gonna get a vape in the bathroom right now? And I was like, yeah. But But he's just like super cool like that, just super friendly, super awesome. So yeah.
Thank you. And tell me, like, what are some of the things that you expect out of like the Miami nightlife as opposed to seeing it through the Vegas nightlife?
Wait, ask that again.
What are some of the things that you like want to see out of like the Miami nightlife?
Honestly, I don't know what to expect, but I hope to see really good artists, and I hope to see a vibe and like how big it is, and see what like the feeling is. It's all about the feeling, you know.
It's all about the feeling.
It's all if you know, you know. Like when you step into a club, it's all about like the feeling that it gives you.
And it sounds like there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, especially, and if there's a good artist too, like that's a plus, you know, because then you're excited and you look forward to seeing that artist. So
Honestly, like, I just want to say, at the end of the day, it sounds like you like Miami and you like Vegas. But tell me, what are some of the pros and cons as to going out to Miami as opposed to Vegas?
Pros and cons.
Yeah, like, what do you like better? What do you like that's indifferent? I don't know. Like, kind of tell me some of the thoughts you have that go along with it.
Okay, so I'm like a West Coast girly, so I hate the humidity, but like, I would say pros about Vegas would be super big artists, super big clubs, good promoters, anywhere you go. I would say the cons though of Vegas, super expensive drinks. Like if you're getting one medium drink, it's like $70 at the bars, so don't do that. Another con would be like, it could get like really hectic and like really busy, especially like during college week. Like it is like packed and like tables are sold out, so you can't get a table anywhere. So I'd say that's another con. And then for like Miami, I would say like the pros here, obviously you. And then I would say just like also the vibe that like Miami gives, I really like it as well, and just like how high end it is and how high end people are here is like really like refreshing to see and nice to see. I would say also another pro would just be like the people here. I really like the people and how like nice and outgoing they are, because sometimes in Vegas like they are not outgoing people. They're like very to themselves. So I feel like in Miami it's a whole like different kind of thing than Vegas for sure. But yeah, I would say those are like kind of like the pros and cons a little bit.
My next question is, would you say that pretty privilege is a thing?
Yes.
Especially in Miami and Vegas?
Yes.
How so?
Okay, I'm not trying to like be like super harsh here, but like if you are genuinely like pretty and you get multiple compliments like every day, people telling you that you're pretty, you have like pretty privilege, okay? But like if you're ugly, I'm sorry and I wish you the best. But I'm not trying to be harsh.
Ugly.
I'm just saying pretty privilege does get you places. And I'm being honest here. Like girls will blow up just for their looks. And it's serious. Like girls have millions of followers just for the way that they fucking look, okay? Like, it's a real thing.
And at the end of the day, what would you say about looks and appearances at clubs? Like, when you see a guy, and when you see him, like, dressing, like, kind of ratchet, or, like, not right, as opposed to someone who, like, maybe is in a button-down, or is in some, like, designer, or actually looking the way they're supposed to, like, what does that say about someone and what they do at the club?
Honestly, it depends on the environment. So maybe if you're like at a bar, it's okay to wear, you know, those like casual clothes. But I would say if you're at a club, it is nice and like refreshing to see guys in like maybe a nice button down or whatever. Because sometimes like if you do go to a high-end club and you see guys in maybe like shorts or casual clothes, maybe it's like, oh, okay, you know. But then if you see a guy in like a suit, you're like, oh, who's that guy, you know? Like
kind of like makes you, you know, think twice.
It makes you stand out. I would say it makes you stand out for sure.
Shout out to Live Miami.
And do the chain. Do the chain. Girls love the chain.
Oh, the chain.
I'm putting them on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you like flashy things?
No, not like flashy. Not like flashy. Just make sure you got a piece of jewelry and maybe some earrings, and boom, you get all the girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Earrings.
Yeah, earrings. That's a big
That's a
one.
good note.
Earrings.
I only had one before. I don't know if you ever knew that about me.
And I promise you it's not gay. I promise you it's not gay at all.
Only if it's on the right ear.
We think it's attractive. We think it's... I was speaking for all the people who think it's attractive.
Listen. I'm going to sit here and tell you, you've been through a lot of nightlife scenes. You've been through a lot of things, like in Miami. Tell me, what do you want to see, and where's your favorite place to be in Miami?
Favorite place to be?
I mean, you've been out to Live, you've been out to Dare, you've been out to Gecko. Like, what are some of your things, and what are some of your favorite places that are like, yeah, like I just want to keep going back to this?
Oh, definitely Live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like a vibe. I don't know how to explain it. I like when clubs give me like a good vibe and a good scenery, and Live definitely like does that for me.
So
like,
Live Miami.
And Vegas too. Like Live
and
Vegas. And Live Miami. I'm telling you, they have like performers. They have like bottle girls like floating from the sky like this.
Floating from the sky.
Yeah, like I'm saying like, and also Omnia too. I would say Omnia. Like Live and Omnia are my top.
And like, tell me,
sure.
Do you have like any funny stories at these clubs? 'Cause I know you probably have a few.
In these clubs specific, let me try and think.
Like, have you seen any like girls spill their drinks? Have you had any girls fall down? Have you girls like do like any crazy stuff like a cabana with you? I don't know what you've been into.
Oh, okay. I do have this. Okay, I have this one story actually.
What?
Okay, so my friend, sorry, I'm sharing this. I won't say her name. It was her birthday, and she got like super like blacked. Okay, as we all do, as we should on her birthday. And there was like this cabana chair, right? And let me like visualize this for you. So this is like the cabana chair, and she puts her foot over like this, and she literally falls and tumbles on the fucking cement because of like how black she was. But and like I honestly, obviously, was like picked her up and stuff. Like I felt bad. It was hilarious. Like it was so funny.
So you're saying this girl's blacked and like literally tumbled on the cement?
Yeah.
And you were there to help her?
Well, yeah, we
Look
helped
at
her.
you being a little caretaker. Well, that's nice of you.
Yeah, and obviously, like, if you guys have ever been to like the Arizona clubs.
Arizona.
Like Scottsdale.
Tell us about that.
What you know about that Scottsdale though?
Scottsdale? I don't know.
What you know about that Scottsdale?
I don't, sadly, so.
I feel like Scottsdale is a little bit of a hidden gem. Maybe people don't know about it too much, or maybe people do, but it is definitely like party city over there. And I've definitely had crazy like experiences in Arizona, and they do like have nice clubs as well over there. And like all the clubs in Arizona, they're like bunched together like this, so you can like walk to each one, and it's super nice.
So like, tell me about Arizona. You consider that home, correct?
Yeah, I consider Arizona home.
And tell me, what are some of the things that go along with the party scene in Arizona? Because I've never heard about it.
Well, first there's like Tempe, so that's like the ASU college area with like all the bars, and there's this thing called Mill Ave where all the bars and like clubs are on. So the big club there is like Casa.
Casa.
It's
Shout
like
out.
called Casa. Shout out Casa! I've been there so many times. Shout out both Casas. There's a Casa on Mill and there's a Casa in Old Town. So in Scottsdale, they call it Old Town for the clubs.
Okay.
And people are like, oh, are you going to Old Town or are you going to Middle? Which is a thing there. And I would say my favorite for sure is like Old Town, just because it has like that club vibe. But then it also has like separate bars on the side with like live music and stuff like that. And then Mill is more like that college town like vibe with all the college kids. And then it has one club called Casa where they, you know, go every weekend, and it's super fun. And there's definitely been big artists out in Arizona as well, like DJ Pauly D, Sean Kingston, Neo, like that was on Scottsdale, so.
Shout out. And
Shout out.
tell me, do you have any like fond experiences within the Vegas or Miami scene that you've like kind of been through, or like something that like is memorable to you?
Something memorable. I would say I would definitely say like making friends has been the most memorable for me because I've always like struggled making friends on my own just because of like the job that I do. So I'm like not in college obviously, so it's harder, and I live alone, which is even harder because then you kind of have to really put yourself out there to make friends. And I want to tell you right now, if you're in the same situation, literally just go to places alone and put yourself out there and you will make friends. And I know it's like scary, but that's exactly what I did. And I've made my most like memorable experiences like doing that, just going out alone and being brave and putting myself out there. So, yeah.
And kudos to you for doing that.
Yeah.
Cheers to you. What you do. This is a great thing. Like, I appreciate you. And kind of going back to this, I kind of like want to ask you: is there anything you want to leave with like your fans or like the people, or is there anything like you want them to know about you and like some of the things that you do?
Yes. So obviously, I did a little summary of like where I came from and where I grew up, but I have a Twitter, Instagram. This is my first podcast, and
Shout out McCready's Club Buzz.
Yeah.
Shout out Ashlyn Angel.
Yeah.
You already know. Cheers. And talk to me. So, where do you see yourself being, and like, where do you want to be?
honestly, right now I'm kind of just taking it day by day. Obviously, with the OnlyFans, you kind of get like a free schedule, and you're just kind of seeing where it goes because the sky's the limit with that. But yeah, I've been doing OnlyFans for 3 years now, and I'm starting barely just to pop off. So like, if you have a goal or a dream in mind, just know it might take years, it might take a month, but as long as you like put in that hard work and you're posting every day and you're doing your thing, then you'll get there, you know. So.
And talk about those goals, because you've made them come true, and I just want to say I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
Because not only that, like, you've been moving forward, you've been looking in a positive way, and you've been changing your attitude with certain things, and it's becoming like true for you.
Yeah.
And like, I hope you know, like, I want the best for you and what you do, and I see like you becoming not only a social media content creator, but an influencer, and like something beyond like what you even see for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Because people might see you as one thing, I feel like it means another. And like, how do you feel when you go out in the nightlife scene? And how do you feel like when people talk to you? Because obviously there's a difference between like they know who you are, or like when they just want to like get to know you, you know?
Yeah, so definitely I've had a few interactions where it's like, oh my gosh, are you like Ashlyn Angel? Yes, I've had a few of those already. And yes, that is very nice. I love my fans. I love when people come up to me, but it is also nice when someone does like genuinely like want to have a conversation with me and want to get to know me. And honestly, like, I like the feeling of doing social media, and also like my goals that I have in mind are just obviously like reaching as far as I can with it, growing, making more videos, making more content, posting things every day, being consistent, and I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job so far, so.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And like, tell me, what's like one of the crazy stories you have being in the industry, or maybe like some of the things that you would say like to some of the people maybe striving to be in there?
Craziest stories?
Yeah.
I would say this is a really positive one. I won't say their name, but I will say there was this one girl that really motivated me, because she already had a lot on Twitter, and she like sat me down and she was like, hey Maddie, like, you need to be doing this, and this is what I'm doing, and this is how you're gonna grow, and this is what you're gonna do. And like, she was sharing her whole experience on like what she's been through and how she's done it and how she made it to like the top 1%. And it was honestly like very inspirational, and like I'll never forget that. So.
And like, what do you want to do, and where blah blah blah. What do you want to do, and where do you see yourself being in the next 3 to 5 years from now?
That is a great question. I see myself definitely still living alone, definitely still with my dog, and definitely maybe branching off into something bigger, like my own brands, and selling my own things hopefully one day, and maybe making like...
Being a true entrepreneur.
Yeah. Hopefully one day. We can hope.
And shout out, and I see that being for you.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have a lot of aspirations and goals, and like I hope the best for you and what you want to do.
Thanks.
Not only being out here in the adult industry, but in the nightlife, being out here in Miami, being in Vegas, and it sounds like you want a lot for yourself and like what's moving forward. Tell me, is there any like things that you want to tell the people before you kind of wrap up today?
I want to say, no matter what you're going through, don't give up, even if you feel alone, because you can do it still. And I promise you that. You just got to stay consistent, and you got to, wake up every day, put a smile on your face, and be like, hey, I got this, right? Hey, I can do this today. Hey, I'm going to film today, and I'm going to film 3 times today if I need to, like, you know what I mean? Just trying to keep that positive energy and trying to keep that motivation and consistency, and, like, you'll be good, And that goes through anything with life, so.
And, like, tell me, where do you want this to be? Where do you want to see yourself, and where do you want to go just, like, moving forward,
I see myself definitely moving forward with a lot more good content and a lot more, this is my first podcast, so I definitely want to branch out into more, like, things like this and branch out into, like, more collabs and see where it goes from there. And obviously I've already done something out of my comfort zone that I just recently posted, and that's been obviously doing really well. So as long as people like to see, that kind of stuff, and then, I'm good. But yeah, I think so far just like slowly building up until I want to create a brand, or I want to create something more for myself, and I'm just building to get to that point, so. And just taking it day by day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And shout out Ashlyn Angel. Shout out McGritty's Club Buzz. Shout out to the nightlife scene in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Las Vegas. Sounds like you have a lot going for you.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you and what you do. And I know like a lot of people are going to want to be seeing this and hearing about you.
For sure.
And is there one last thing you want to leave with the people before you leave tonight?
Cheers to my first podcast. That's all I want to say left.
Cheers to McGritty's Club Buzz, guys.
Cheers. Cheers to McGritty's Club Buzz again.
You already know. Thank you. I appreciate
Best promoter in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Go to his page now.
Hit us up on Instagram, McGritty's Club Buzz. You already know where to find us, guys. Hit us up on Good Life Miami for the merch. Hit us up on Instagram. Hit us up on TikTok. Hit us up anywhere you can find us. You already know. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap, baby!